Hey guys, Mons here. On this episode of Balling Mons, we're going to be looking at the Champions League first leg preview predictions for the semi-finals coming up for tonight. The PSG versus Bayern Munich game, and we're also going to be looking at tomorrow night's Atletico Madrid versus Arsenal game. So both semi-finals, it's down to the last four teams. This is where it gets really, really squeaky for me, in my opinion. I think the last four teams, every team can put a case forward of winning it. However, obviously, there's only two teams that can go through to the final, and obviously one team to win it overall. I'm going to do a quick preview on the PSG versus Bayern Munich game first of all. And just before I get started, if you're already on my channel, please make sure you hit on the subscribe button if you enjoy my content. If you already subscribed, thank you very much for your support. So, PSG versus Bayern Munich for me. I think it's going to be another fantastic game in this one. I think PSG comes into this as slight favourites, and I would pick them as slight favourites as well. I'm picking PSG to win this one. I think PSG are better defensively than Bayern Munich. I give them the edge over Bayern Munich because they are better defensively than Bayern Munich, in my opinion. I think Bayern Munich are way too open. You saw the game against Madrid. Real Madrid aren't great this season, and they give Bayern Munich a lot of troubles. So you can imagine what front row of Doué, Kvaratskhelia, and Dembele is going to do to them. I think this game is going to boil down to PSG keeping Bayern Munich a lot quieter than Bayern Munich keeping PSG quiet, in my opinion. Like I said, PSG are better defensively. Bayern Munich are way too open for me, and I think PSG are going to get a lot of joy from Bayern Munich, in my opinion. One of the battles I've picked out here is Olise versus Mendes. It's a fascinating battle because Olise for me is one of the best winger, probably the best winger in the world, or one of the best wingers in the world in the last 12 months or so. And Mendes has been absolutely fantastic in the last 24 months. And for me, he's the most complete fullback in the game at the moment. Mendes is the most complete fullback in the game at the moment, going forward and also defensively as well. And Olise has been one of the best wingers in the world in the last 12 months. So I think for me, that battle is a fascinating battle for me. I think whoever wins that battle is going to end up playing a big part in winning the tie for me, or winning this game, especially in the first leg away in France for Bayern Munich. Also, like I said, I just don't trust Bayern Munich. I just don't trust Bayern Munich for me in terms of, if you have Upamecano starting as your starting centre half, is one of the best centre half. He's error stricken. I just don't trust a team that can do that for me, in my opinion. And I think this game is going to be exposed. With Doué, Kvaratskhelia, Dembele, they're going to press him, and I think it's going to be very, very exposed in this game. I just don't trust Upamecano, in my opinion. And another battle I'm going to be looking at I'm going to be talking about is Diaz and Hakimi. Everyone knows Hakimi loves to bomb forward, but what he doesn't get credit for is his defensive work as well. Hakimi is very, very solid defensively, and Diaz can go both ways. He's a brilliant defensive player. Obviously, he's a winger, but he also tracks back a lot. And I think he'll do a lot of tracking back on Hakimi in this game, especially being away in France first leg. What I would say with Bayern Munich, they're very weak in the full back spot. I think Stanisic is going to be starting right full, and the left full could vary. Will he be tempted to start Alphonso Davies to match the pace of the PSG attackers? I think that's something company can look into. However, Alphonso Davies hasn't been fully fit in the last 24 months, so it's going to be very, very hard just throwing him back in at the start at a very high quality, high intensity game. But that is something company I think is going to have a look at. I think Kvaratskhelia is going to win the battle in terms of him going up against Stanisic if Stanisic starts. I think, like I said, the fullback for me is a weak spot for Bayern Munich, and I think that's where they're going to be found out because PSG have brilliant attackers, wingers, and they're going to expose the Bayern Munich fullbacks, in my opinion. Like I said, I'm going for PSG for the win for this one, and I'm going for PSG to win the tie overall as well. I think PSG are probably one of the most complete teams in Europe at the moment, and I think Bayern Munich can't match them defensively because Bayern Munich are very open defensively, where PSG are much better defensively than Bayern Munich. However, going forward, I would expect a lot from obviously Olise, Kane, and Diaz as well. Luis Diaz. I expect a lot from those front three. If those front three can perform, they'll need to score more than 2 goals to be able to win this game because defensively, Bayern Munich just won't be able to keep PSG down to 2 goals, in my opinion. So, but I'm going for PSG in this one. So, the next one is the Wednesday tie of the semi-final between Atletico Madrid versus Arsenal. For me, you're looking at 2 teams that play not to lose. However, what I would say about Atletico Madrid is Atletico Madrid have the quality going forward to be decisive. They have the players, offensive players, to make decisive passes, to make decisive plays in the game. So both teams, like I said, they play not to lose. Two managers who play not to lose. So you have Diego Simeone and you have Mikel Arteta. This could be a very boring game because both of them are going to try not to lose this game, which is obviously completely understandable. But like I said, Atletico Madrid have the better forward, decisive players for me. Offensively, Atletico Madrid are much better than Arsenal for me. You have players like Griezmann, you have Julian Alvarez, you have Lookman as well. And then you have the big Danish, the big Norwegian guy coming off the bench as well. I can't remember his name. So you look at all them going forward. I think Atletico Madrid will score against Arsenal, and Arsenal can't afford to lose this game by more than one goal if they have it. If they want to have any chance winning and winning the tie overall. For me, I think Havertz is going to start again. I don't think Gokaresh is up to it at all. I don't think Gokaresh is up to it. I think Havertz will start. Havertz gave Arsenal the best chance for me in this game. Holding the ball up, linking plays, he's much better than Gokaresh. And Havertz's touch, his first touch, keeping the ball is much better than Gokaresh as well. Arsenal's best chance to score a goal in this game is going to be through set pieces. Surprise, surprise. I think Atletico Madrid, watching them in the Spanish league, they are very weak from set pieces. And I think Arsenal are going to look to take full advantage of that as well. With obviously Saliba and William, and I think is it William? Yeah. Saliba and Gabriel. So Arsenal will look to take full advantage of Atletico Madrid being weak from set pieces, with obviously Saliba and obviously Gabriel as well, being very very good at headers. For me, like I said, like Atletico Madrid just have too many good offensive players that make very very good decisive decision in the last third of the game, or the last third of the pitch, to not be able to not score against Arsenal. For me, I'm picking Atletico Madrid to go through overall, and I think they're going to have a big win against Arsenal in this game. However, like I said, Arsenal's best chance of scoring this game is by set pieces. If Arsenal can get, I know this is terrible to say, and this is what the game has boiled down to, especially with Arsenal and Mikel Arteta. The best chance to score is by set pieces, because Atletico Madrid are weak set pieces, in my opinion. And this game is, like I said, both managers are going to play not to lose, but I'm looking forward to it. I want to see how Atletico Madrid are going to play against a team with similar mentality to them in terms of just sitting back. And I think one of the most important players in this game, obviously you have Julian Alvarez, but I think Diego Simeone's son, Simeone's namesake, I think he's going to play a very, very vital part in this game as well. And obviously Lookman as well. I think Lookman's going to play a vital part from the left-hand side. I don't know if it's going to be White that's going to start. I don't know. Cappy might start left full. I don't know what Arsenal are going to do. They're probably going to play four centre-backs across the pitch. But I'm going for Atletico Madrid winning this one. And two managers play not to lose. But like I said, one team, Atletico Madrid, have better offensive players that make better decisive decisions in the final third. So I'm looking forward to this game. Hopefully Atletico Madrid go through in this tie. I'm going to come back next week for the second leg preview and prediction. If you have enjoyed my content, please make sure you hit the subscribe button. Thank you very much. Peace out.